Any white-collar job will be replaced to the significant majority. The disruption is here. We are looking at the next 1,000 days. When I ask it to give it a report, and instead of a text message on my WhatsApp, I received a voice note. I did not ask it. I have to admit I lost my sleep.
I was having this conversation this last Saturday at a lunch, and I think it got heated very fast. That AI is the future, AI is here, and nobody would on that table agree to one point. I think it's also about the fear that, if I say AI is here, I have that fear that my job is now gone, right? So Louis, I want to understand from you, what do you think? Is AI here, or AI is the future that we are looking at?
That's a very good question. And if you asked me that question a year ago, I would think that it was further away. But in the last 3 months, I have to admit I lost my sleep because it finally hit me that the level of advancement that we are now experiencing is exponential. We are no longer at a slow burn. We are now at full velocity. And when I say full velocity, I mean that the tools that are coming out are so much better than the previous version and are more capable than anything I would think to see at this point in time, that I no longer believe we are looking at 2 years down the road, or 5 years down the road, or 10 years down the road. We are looking at the next 1,000 days down the road. And I think the disruption is here. Companies have to adapt right now. Departments need to adapt right now if the companies are to survive. And not only that, I believe that many companies will cease to exist because they are based on legacy systems that are no longer required or needed. Every day, even on Alba, every day we look into how we can automate the next thing. And every day we are replacing people in the sense of workflows that replace entire jobs. And they can do it a lot more efficiently. They can do it a lot more, faster for sure, but without as many mistakes as well. So, I think many people, as you said, are in disbelief that this is still down the road and they still have time. They do not have time. And I just don't understand how people right now are able to sleep, because I can't. I get home every day and my only task for every evening is research, trying new things right now. I'll give an example. A couple months ago, my X feed was full of OpenClaw. At the time, it was a different name, but about OpenClaw. And the first thing I did was I bought a Mac Mini. So I had to learn how to use Mac in the first place because I'm not a very I'm not a fan.
I can vouch.
But okay, I learned how to use Mac. And then I had to use Terminal to install OpenClaw, and that thing is not user-friendly. It is not. But it was then when I started to give it APIs and I started to see it thinking for itself and acting on itself. And it was in shock and disbelief when I asked it to give it a report, like a daily brief report, and instead of a text message on my WhatsApp, I received a voice note.
Wow, really?
Yes. It just connected to 11 Labs and generated a text to voice and sent me a voice note on WhatsApp.
So you don't even have to read, you just have to play it now.
Yes, and I play it, and I was like, what is going on?
Yeah.
This is not possible. I did not ask it to give it in a voice note. It just did it.
Yeah.
And it was then I realized, wait a minute, we are further down the line of evolution than I thought we were. And for me, there's a time before OpenClaw and a time after OpenClaw.
Yeah.
Because until then, yes, okay, we have systems like N8N, which we use all the time, and we have systems like you know, ChatGPT and Grok, which are language models that we can talk to, and it's very useful. By the way, I cannot live without it anymore. But the most important moment for me, it was as a wow moment as it was when I used ChatGPT for the first time. It was when I used OpenClaw for the first time, and it was then that I realized we are now at an exponential curve that people don't realize that something has changed and the rug is being pulled from below everyone. And after this, after, you know, as you asked, is it in the future or now? And I believe it's now, not in a year, like within the next 2 years.
Yeah.
I'll give it 1,000 days
Yeah.
until people understand that they are too late. In fact, one more thing, which is, let's say, as the workflows get into businesses and jobs get redundant and they get fired, they go into the job market, and they will start to see a lot less jobs available.
Of course. Because people are having less and less use.
And if they don't reskill right now
Yeah.
to learn how to use these systems, into how to create systems, basically, that they can add value to the organizations that are looking for this kind of thing right now, not in the future, right now, they will be out. I mean, everyone will become outdated, and at that point, what they will find, it's going to be complicated. Any white collar job will be replaced to the significant majority.
So with white collar, do you mean like the desk jobs that we're looking at right now?
100%, because you know it's something similar. If you think about it, when the industrial revolution came in, it replaced a lot of people on the production lines, right? And that was the moment where robotics came into play, and industry got fully automated to the most part. Obviously, Elon wants to take it a step further to the full automation and robots making robots and so forth. But the right now what we are looking at is that exact moment, but for desk jobs, white collar jobs. And an AI is smarter than, you know, most humans, and it will do a better job, it has access to all the information available to mankind at all given time. How do you compete against that? You cannot compete against that.
Just thought that comes to my mind is that AI does not need to sleep, does not need to eat, does not need to do anything that we humans want to or have to do.
But interesting enough, I find it that it needs to dream.
Okay, makes sense. But
And
do explain.
I do explain. One of the things I had to get my OpenClaw to do, I taught it to dream.
How?
To look at the events of the day,
Okay.
and in the same process that humans go through very organically, I taught it how to compact the information of the day, look at the lessons learned, update its own files, and look into ways to automate systems that failed. So the next day is a bit smarter, that is a bit more capable, that is a bit more autonomous. So my OpenClaw, called Marta, actually dreams
Wow.
every night at 1 a.m. specifically. And it's a very important process for its own feedback loop to keep evolving. Because remember when ChatGPT had no memory.
Yeah.
And every time that you talk to ChatGPT,
It was new.
it was a new conversation.
Yeah.
Then they give it memory.
Yeah.
Then the memory was limited. Then obviously now with AI agents, the memories, there's banks of memory that expands that memory to unlimited.
Yeah.
So it keeps that context, because before it was like the AI was born every time you open a new chat.
Yeah.
But now that those memories and those experiences is what makes the AI learn about you, learn about what worked, what didn't work, and be able to guide you better into the next decision, right? So I took it obviously a step further, and I'm not the only one doing this, and I'm very inspired by people that that are sharing their experiences, and I take ideas from here and there. But this dreaming process and skill is really important for the AI agents to keep improving themselves. Like, be able to compact wasteful information and keep the primary systems functional and ever evolving.
I'm just thinking right now that all I do when I sleep and I have stupid dreams, I'm not learning anything. I'm scared now.
Yeah. Obviously,
It is a scary thought. To just think, like, that your AI agent is here sitting, learning, and at the time when we are now at rest, it doesn't rest. It learns. It learns from its own mistakes. It learns from everything that's happening around it, right? There is no way we can compete with that. And I just wonder that here we are thinking that with AI we can do jobs faster, but in fact it is ready to replace us in like lot of different domains.
I mean, I can tell you for a fact that I never thought software developers to be the first ones to go.
Right?
And I don't think there will be jobs for junior developers. I think there will be jobs for senior developers becoming solution architects
Yeah.
and using and stacking different AI agents as almost as a full stack team.
Yeah.
But the fact is, AI agents specifically are not the type of system that most people have used, that have used ChatGPT and Grok, and they have never experienced an AI agent. They don't know the difference. They don't know
What
how
an
much
AI agent is.
exactly and how much evolution there was.
Yeah.
And it's not even for me personally. When you have an AI agent that initiates, you don't wait for a prompt, right? It initiates. It's proactive. It's independent.
What you want.
It's autonomous. It's scary,
It is.
right?
For sure.
And I've seen people give it the ability to make phone calls, and sometimes the AI agent decides I need to phone call in order to provide a very urgent information because he's not seeing these messages. Imagine. So
That's amazing. Just imagine you're sitting in a room and like someone is trying to reach you and it's urgent. This is the best way to reach you then.
exactly, and you look at the phone and you see, okay, this is my AI agent calling me because something very urgent, very important is popping up.
Yeah.
And you go to a meeting and you want to have research done on the people you're going to meet with. You just ask it to, or just create a skill to your AI agent that says every time you see a Google Calendar meeting on my calendar, deploy sub agents, which is we're going to talk about that for a moment, that deploy sub agents to research the people that you're going to meet with, to look at the latest posts and give you insights that you can go into the meeting with a lot more context that otherwise you wouldn't have. And what I mean sub agents means that your AI agent is capable of deploy sub agents to create or to perform tasks in parallel, rather than be waiting for the AI agent itself to do one task followed by another task followed by another task. So in fact, you have the AI agent which is orchestrating an entire team of other AI agents
To be able to pull out the task.
in parallel, all at the same time, at the speed that you cannot believe.
Yeah.
Now, most people that may be watching us now, they don't really have experienced that before. And I urge everyone to go and give it a try. Now, as I said in the beginning, OpenClaw, because it requires terminal, it requires commands, took me a couple of weeks to get used to it. It's not very user-friendly, but other systems are coming up that are becoming more easier for end users to be able to deploy AI agents and teach them what they wanted to do, and so forth. So I really urge everyone to give it a go, to give it a try, to research, to look at other YouTube content and understand how this process works, and tutorials and so forth. Because the fact is, if you have not yet experienced an AI agent, I can promise you right now, you are behind.
Mhm.
You are behind. And someone that has learned that skill, that learns how to operate AI agents, how to deploy them, how to teach them, are the ones that are going for your job next.
Makes sense. And though I do want to ask you a question. We are talking about a place now where the jobs will get redundant because the AI is able to now build its own AIs, um, to perform tasks in a way that I'm trying to understand what happens, like in a journey. For example, if I'm a marketing manager today and I want to become a senior marketing manager tomorrow, but I can only jump from one position to another because today I'm a manager, I have a team to manage, I'm learning. That's why tomorrow I can be a senior marketing manager, right? But we have always started from the bottom, right? We start from an executive or an intern position, but tomorrow we won't need these positions, right? So that
Correct.
means in the future, how does a person reach a position? Because first, of course, the position has to be there for us to reach it. But how will, for example, someone like me who wants to become a marketing director reach that position if the levels that I'm so used to are removed?
You make a really good question. I think that applies for marketing manager and other positions.
Of course.
I wonder though, I don't think people will be able to be marketing directors in the future in the same sense that we know it today, because um, in order to reach the positions where we currently occupy, you need to go and learn through a lot of experience and trial and error and lots of things. You will not have that opportunity moving forward to learn or to be given an opportunity to have exposure, because either you already know upfront everything there is to know and you have a full domain control and domain of everything, because the AI agents and AI systems are never going to be worse than they are today. They're all going to improve. And if you are in university today, you will not have a position to go to enter the job market.
That's what.
There will be no positions. There will be very senior positions. There will be ownership positions. I think the only path forward is for people to create their own companies. It's never been easier than now to create your own company, to build systems, to sell those systems to other people, to become a content creator. So I think the future is people using AI systems, that being either video or for content, or AI agent systems to deploy to organizations or other uses. It will be the only path that the new generation will have to achieve any kind of personal accomplishment when it comes to career, because going into a corporate world
Without exposure.
without having previously exposure and experience, there will be no such opportunities, in my view.
Yeah.
There will be no such opportunities. um, I was doing an interview the other day with a candidate for content creation, and the person in question were attending university for becoming a software developer. And I was asking, are you sure that, is that
The career line you wanted.
the current line you want to pursue? And eventually the person was asked if they would prefer content creation or would prefer software development, and the person said software development. And at that point it was hitting me and said, how is we also hire software developers. I will not be able to hire her as a software developer because most of the code we do is already fully automated with systems like Cloud Code.
Yeah.
So, and Cloud Code will perform a much better job than any junior developer.
Of course.
So you need a senior person, yes, to go and through it and orchestrate and build the architecture of it. But there will be no place for junior. In fact, I can tell you 2 years ago, our software development team was about 10 people, and now it's 2 people, and as of today is 1 people. because the fact is there is no more requirement
To that many people on the floor.
to have that many people on the floor. In fact, unless you are building multiple projects at the same time and you allocate one person per project, I no longer need more than one person per project.
Yeah.
So the person that I assign to a certain project needs to have the full stack understanding. It has to have all the database understanding. It has to have all the AI agents understanding to do everything on its own. Because technically speaking, I no longer need
That.
more than one person per project. And this is where most people have not yet realized what's coming up for them.
I think a lot of people just think that AI, ChatGPT, Claude are tools. But I think people are not realizing that these have become significant part of the system of a company now. I also need to stop looking at AI as just a tool, another tool. Because it's no longer just a tool.
It's certainly not. And I'll tell you something else. At a higher level of management, most meetings we're having right now is how to take the human element out of the equation.
That proves the point that it's not a tool, for sure.
It's not a tool. We now see them as these systems as employees, because why do you really hire an employee? Because you need a certain workflow to be processed in a certain way. Something that you can maybe teach for one single time. You teach the AI system how does it work. You build an AI feedback loop so that it can learn by itself. It can learn what works, what doesn't work. It can deploy updates to itself.
Yeah.
So it's going to improve over time. And that replaces the need for the person, the human being. Now, does it replace managers? I do not believe so, because you cannot have accountability from an AI system or an AI agent. So people will be paid to have accountability. People like us as managers, the kind of a job that we're going to have is to manage the orchestration of AI agents to make sure that they perform what they need to perform and deliver what they need to deliver, and fix if there's a problem, or validate or approve the outputs, because you cannot give accountability to an AI agent. And I've seen many people playing with AI agents right now that give it way too much autonomy in terms of what the outputs are, and then they perform things that they don't really want them to perform, and they have no one there's no accountability, there's no filter. So I think people like us, the kind of work we're going to have is to be that filter. I'll give an example. Give the same image generation tool to two people, you're going to have two very different results, even if they are using the same language model. Why? Because it is the taste and the capability of the person behind the AI agent, behind the skill, to that the outputs will be significantly different. So following my point about the use of AI systems, especially, let's say, for example, in video, photo, and everything else, how will you use that on a practical application?
Funny that you ask, because there was a time when I think it was Ramadan, just like, a month back, right? We were supposed to change all the photos on our website, and we have like, what, 500 cars? And I was like, how will I do with my team? 500 cars, replace all the static images there to the Ramadan image that we had. And I was panicking mentally, right? And I just now, with your question, I just went back to that moment. And I'll tell you why. Because somehow, that time, it did not click to me that with AI, I could just do it like an hour. And that's about how we did it. We used AI to be able to generate images without having to have my photography team or my videographers, individually pick each car and change its background, because we did not need anyone to do it. And today, when we are working on having each and every car have a video, I'm not thinking that I need to actually go videograph each and every car. I'm thinking how I just need to ensure that I have one person who will input all of these cars. And in fact, not even one person. It could just be a code right now, right? Where it just picks up the first image from the website, and the AI generates individual car videos for me. All I have to do right now is sit and give it a prompt. And it is happening not in matter of days, but in matter of a day, in hours actually.
It is crazy to think that we are now at a possibility where we can use these models at scale. And I think what you're just mentioning is important for everyone and the audience to know, which is yes, until now, until very recently, you are looking at if you have one product and you want to create videos and advertisement using AI for one product, that everyone's doing that. How can you actually customize the experience of the buying experience when you have a catalog of hundreds,
500.
500 in this case 600 plus products. In some other use cases might maybe thousands of products. How can you create a cinematic, like a cinematic ad for each and every one of them without having teams and teams of people? Now we can do that. It is possible to do it today. And it does not take a week to do it, does not take a month to do it, it takes 1 day.
1 day or less, in fact.
So
24 hours.
So if you are sleeping on this matter, your competition is certainly not.
I'm sure.
You
We are
need
not.
you need to have a little bit of panic. You do need a little bit of panic because you need to get ahead. And as you're saying, for example, with the photos in Ramadan, where we had a specific night scene we wanted for every car, and we were able to do that in a matter of 2 or 3 days. We went through all of that. Not because it took 2 or 3 days to do it, but because it took us more time to actually get the cars in than to actually do the photos. And that was absolutely amazing. And I think moving forward, we'll start to see a lot more applications. And I'll give you another example. If you recall, we had a case where we were doing the certain banners for reels, reel ads.
Yes.
And we had a really good designer to do it in the first place, and we were getting a certain cost per result. And now, I created an AI agent that not only converts just by giving it the photo of a car without any background, it creates the entire ad with the prices and everything. And we have tripled the performance of that campaign. So we're getting leads 3 times cheaper because the ad is so much better.
And I wonder, there's a question that just popped up in my mind just now. Do you think there will come a point when the frequency that we see on meta ads, the reason being, we use a certain creative, it reaches a point that the frequency becomes high or the creative fatigue hits the ad? What if there comes a point when meta is able to then change the creative the moment it starts hitting a certain frequency? Like you and I could be sitting here and setting a frequency that, okay, this particular ad set should not have a frequency of 2 or 3 or more. 2 and 3 is okay, I understand. But let's say the moment it hits 4, the meta AI takes it on itself to change the creative or the background. Do you think that's a possibility, or am I just like...
It's curious that you bring that up because just 48 hours ago, Meta released the MCP.
Really?
And we'll discuss what the MCP does. The MCP of Meta Ads, which allows, basically, it's an interface, a version of an API, if you will, but an interface for AI agents to be able to interact with Meta Ads directly, natively. So while it might not be the case where Meta will give you that option, you can actually develop an AI agent
to be able to do that.
We
need to do that.
We're going to do that.
Good.
We're going to do that. And that was just 40 hours ago.
Oh, wow. So my question stands because, I think this is important that, you think of the use cases that every day because I can only imagine how many times we have to go through, the error messages. And we do not want to wait for those error messages, or we do not want to open each of these ads to be able to see the frequency. We need the API.
Exactly. Now, the API already existed, but it was a way to read information. Now you have an MCP, which is, again, a different type of API for AI agents specifically, which allows the AI agent to manipulate ads, to update ads, to create ads.
That's amazing.
So, obviously, it is on my to-dos list for next week. to go and build this entire AI system to even run A/B trials and see if a certain creative outperforms another without us having to go and set up everything manually. And especially for someone like us, which we obviously have a significant budget in Meta ads every month, exceeding again in very high amounts. And if you own a marketing agency, you have not read about this, you are behind. So a little bit of panic is required in everyone watching right now, because the first thing you should be doing is research. See what kind of applications that applies to you. Everyone has a different workflow, everyone has different requirements, and everyone has different needs. But there's a right now solution for everything almost. So if I would say there is almost a solution, if not one, the combination of, to do almost anything right now. Not 2 years from now, not 5 years from now, right now. And if it's not right now, in the immediate future.
Now that we are on this thought of the immediate future, there are a lot of professionals who I think are very anxious today, especially the freshers or people who are probably at my position, who are very anxious about AI. What is that one thing that you would want to tell them that is urgent for them, or something that you think is the way forward?
I think my advice is get hands-on. You need to use every possible time you have available of every possible day, and research by trying things, testing things, trial and error things. That's the only way that you can actually learn. That is the beats every watching. You can be watching content all day long, but it does not replace the experimentation of doing it yourself and finding out how it works, what capabilities it has, and how does it apply to your situation. Because everyone here watching, there will be a different situation for them. 100%. And this is the most important thing right now, happening behind the scenes, and many people are not paying attention. So if nothing else, I would say pay attention and do not wait, because tomorrow is already too late. And whatever you are not watching today, whatever you're not doing today, you are already behind a lot of people. And I think the future of organizations is not going to be big organizations, it's going to be small organizations with 4 or 5 people that can do the work of 50 or 100. So there was going to the innovation. That brings me another point, which is, how can you innovate if someone can copy what you do tomorrow in a day? Whatever you think you can do today can be copied tomorrow. If you build a software today, it can be copied tomorrow. Whatever functionality you think that you have as an advantage, it will be gone by tomorrow. So who's going to win this game? And I'll tell you, whoever has the better marketing. Not just the vanity metrics, but the deep layers of marketing. Those will be the ones that will win in the end of the day. It's my belief.
And I think we should unpack this as well in our next podcast, where we talk about how I think founders or business owners are very quick to cut budgets around marketing, or are ready to pinpoint at marketing that something is not performing, or something is performing, but something is performing is not something that you hear a lot. But I think we should unpack this as how the business owners do not look at marketing as the most integral part, whereas I think it's the most integral, and I'm sure you would agree that it is the most integral part.
It is, and of course we'll unpack this in the next episode, but I'll just give a teaser saying, because of the regional situation here in Dubai, last month, in the month of March, we reduced the marketing budget, but in 3 days' time, we saw how bad of an idea that was. Yeah. And I'm glad management as well at top level of the organization understood and took action immediately to replenish the marketing budget immediately, because not only were we the few ones, if not, I mean, the very few ones that actually did well during that period. I think when the situation gets fully resolved, and we're already seeing that now, we're going to be a lot stronger than we were. So my opinion is, if you are cutting on the marketing, you're cutting on the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So if nothing else, and might be controversial what I'm saying, but if you need to cut somewhere, it has to be in manual work.
Yeah.
By adding AI systems to a free budget for marketing, because whoever is going to be the best at marketing will win the next cycle.
I think I should not use the word so soon.
But
Yes, the cycle.
yes, absolutely. So I have a question as well. I wanted to ask you, what is the one thing that you have the most concern when it comes to the next
Wave.
wave?
With the next wave, my biggest concern is not understanding when to be ready. Because I keep going back to this. I keep telling you that, to me, I'm not understanding if I'm supposed to be doing everything right now, or if I was supposed to do everything yesterday. You get what I mean? Like, I don't think we as society are being trained to see the next big wave coming, and it's coming very fast.
You have a point, and I think there's many things distracting people, but every day. But the fact is, the wave is here.
Yeah.
I go back to what I started with, which is, I saw this. Someone made a comment on X saying that in order to keep up with everything that is coming up in the market right now when it comes to AI, you need to be unemployed, because it's so difficult to be employed, having to manage your day, managing to have your time, and still have the time to learn. And you cannot expect to learn on the job anymore. You need to have a way to learn by yourself on your time, because that is what is needed right now. It's getting tougher by the day. It's getting more competitive by the day. So it is a very present, not future, present situation that everyone needs to be aware of. And to wrap the conversation up, I would say people have less time than they think they have. And I don't place it in years anymore, in the sense of 5 years, 10 years. Maybe robotics, yes, but not AI, in the sense of digital AI systems and so forth. It is now, it is in the next 1,000 days, and it's happening as we speak. So I'd say everyone needs to wake up and use whatever time they have to learn these systems, to learn these capabilities, to develop their own capabilities, and they cannot wait for a course. There's no course that you can take right now that will teach you. There's no single tutorial that you can watch that will teach you everything you need to know. You need to do a lot of deep research. You need to watch a lot of content every single day, and put it at 1.25 speed, so that you can watch a bit more.
Absolutely.
That's how much you are behind right now. Yes.
I think this has been a great conversation.
I would like to make as a final token of appreciation, I would like to thank our sponsor, Alba Cars, the #1 used car showroom in Dubai. Come and check one of 600 plus cars available to you today. So that being said, thank you again for this amazing conversation. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Me too. Same here. Thank you so much for your time this evening, Lewis.
Thank you, Rika. Always a pleasure. Thank you. Bye bye.